It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
I don't think my music's coming through. No, it is not. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's my dolls.
Yeah.
These daggone dolls. I had special music, everybody. I cannot believe this every time. Let me see. Interesting. Well,
I hear it in the background, sort of.
yeah, well, let's see here. We'll do this real quick and we'll be right back.
There's a weird. I mean, yeah. Okay, that's amusing.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Grizzly On The Hunt. Now, everybody's got the night off, but I got my Sonia, the psychic medium from Tennessee.
Hi.
Yes. So, welcome, Tess. Welcome, Denise. Standing Stones. How you? Nicole, welcome to the show. Welcome back, Twisted Witch. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bridget, hello there. And Miguel, Luna, Crazy Witch, Standing Stones again. Yeah, we had my dolls playing with my audio equipment again. Hey, Kelly from UK, there, Yorkshire. Welcome, Crazy Witch, man. We are in for a show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I see Susan. Hello. She's saying hello to everybody. Grizzly, Sonia, Standing Stones, Tess H, Denise, the Cold Twist Witch, y'all, Urana, Crazy Witch. Urana. Oh, Luna. Sorry. I said that so fast. Hey, Nicole. Hey, everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to rock it out. And my music, there it goes. It's in and out. So, how are you doing tonight, Sonia?
Not too shabby. I am babysitting at the moment. My sister's gone, and her boyfriend's gone to a Grateful Dead concert in Atlanta. And I thought he'd be back by now, but I think I understood things.
Aha. Well, Kelly, tell your dad I said hello, mate. From Northern Kentucky. I got my sweet tea with lemon, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. So, everybody had today off. I found out the last moment. But that's all right. I got backups. So, guess who I called? The one and the only, Sonia. She's like, what? Yeah. So, let's rock it. So what's everybody up to today on Memorial Day? Is there our Labor Day? Is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? I get them damn confused.
With a green mustache.
No, Yeah, it's Memorial Day because it's the soldiers. That's right. Hello, Michael Lewis. Welcome to the show. The dolls are playing with my audio again. So, what are we going to talk about today?
You know, I don't know. You
So,
know, I have like 30 minutes to repair the one with the gold one with the jewel on it, or the gemstone on it. I can't talk. The crystal. There we go.
the chakras, the crystals, the colors, auras. So, yeah, there's all kinds of things we can talk about.
Yeah.
So, you don't have your deck of cards outside, so you're going to show her Sasquatch, everybody. Oh, you do got your deck of cards. Oh, my God. You're stressing me out. So, yes.
I do.
Interesting.
And I have my pendulum.
You do.
It's a good place to down. With my feet, and I'm barefooted.
Most psychics are barefooted. Now, in Kentucky, they would say we're barefooted. I almost said big-footed. So now, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on the background and the tree line just in case you see something moving, because you may be surprised what you may see. Just giving you a heads up. Ain't that right, Crazy Witch? Oh, yeah, she's just like, oh, they're over there. You know, no big deal. They're just right there.
Well, she was there right when they called you, and about the time I got on the phone, she kind of disappeared. My mom's out here too. We're trying to fix the mower at the moment. The grass is starting to get tall.
I got you. So, ladies and gentlemen, does Sonia cut that big lawn? Yes, she does. She rides a riding lawnmower. So, yeah, she does. Yes, she does most of the chores. That is correct. Absolutely.
We have chickens,
but she does have goats. She's got goats. And what did you name it? Grizzly, right?
No, it's my sister's dog. They're going to name him Orion. She wasn't going to.
No, it's got to be called Grizzly. Come on. Hey, Joanne Jackson. Hi again. Everybody's well. Hope you're doing well. So, where do we want to start out with?
Oh,
what sounds
I don't know,
flavoring?
Really well lately. It's been a we got the I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of like
Crazy Witch. Where do you want to start at? Joanne Jackson. Where do you want to start at? Let's start somewhere. I'm gonna give you a little music to get you involved in. Come on now.
Okay, my brain isn't. For the last 2 weeks, my brain isn't working right. It's just I feel
knew
like
that part.
Oh yeah. Well, it's been really hard. It's been hard to make words. It's been really hard to talk, to communicate. Obviously, it's been rough. It's been hard. It's been hard to.
There's a lot of energy that's been shifting, is what Peter, Angela, and all the other psychics has been talking about for the past 2 or 3 weeks, almost a month.
Yeah, and it's different than normal energy shifts. I don't know how to explain it. It's I don't know. I don't think I struggle. I don't think I usually struggle this hard, like especially during Gemini season coming up. Like Geminis are my best friends, and I usually thrive this time of year, and I feel like I'm not at my peak.
Well, Joanne Jackson says, surprise us. It's all you. Yes. So, all right. So, what do you want to start out with? So, we can talk about, you want to do cards. You're good at cards. You're good at everything that you do. She's very bashful.
My brain's just not working. But reading cards is easy. It gives me something I can focus on and look at. If I was reading something, it's much easier. But right now, I've been thinking. Well, my nephew, I'm watching him, and he's autistic, and he's a lot to handle. And communicating with him, I've been talking to a couple of different people who can, do telekinesis and talk to autistic kids, through their minds. And I can talk to them like that. Well, the ability to be able to, communicate telepathically. And some people who have the power of telekinesis can move things with their minds. But I mean, we all have these abilities. We don't use enough of our brains to be able to open it up and use them on a daily. We just don't know how. We just haven't been taught. We've been dumbed down. Not to mention they put fluoride in the water, which makes us docile and causes a lot of stuff. I mean, just all kinds, all the chemicals we eat, ingest, all the stuff that's in the air, all the stuff that's everywhere, all the microplastics, all of that. So it dumbs down our abilities to be able to use our brains. And
Now, when I
coming
was
into
growing
the
up,
shift,
we actually
especially,
had to swiggle in mouthwash fluoride. Did you all have to do that in school too?
yeah, we did. We did for the first like elementary school, until you got old enough to refuse, which you could have done the whole time. Yeah, no, they ain't. Like,
They
like
don't do
no,
that
thank you.
anymore, though, do they?
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't know, but they put it in the water now, and it's funny too because fluoride. They found out a long time ago that yeah, it was runoff waste from making bombs, and then they were like, "What do we do with all this fluoride?" And then they started experimenting with it, and they're like, "Oh well, it whitens teeth, but it causes it can cause mental retardation in humans, long exposures to it, and it's small exposures to it just on the daily will make people docile." So, yeah.
Yeah, they made us go in front of the class and hand us a paper cup, and they're like, "Put it in your mouth, boy, and swish
I'm
it
a dress
around
and
for so many seconds." And we had
stuff.
to.
Okay, we're like, what are cars for and stuff.
So, what do you think about near-death experiences and people getting psychic abilities?
I think it's like a last call to be able to use these things, these powers that we have. We've been also taught by religion and a lot of other things that have oppressed people into being able to use abilities because I think everyone has their own certain abilities. I think everyone has them. I think they're just much stronger with other people and other star seeds and things like that. Uh, but I think the the God, I can't even talk. The don't take my Mountain Dew, buddy. You don't need that. The puppy's running away with my sandals, and my nephew's drinking my Mountain Dew. But if you have a near death experience, it it's kind of like your last. It kind of like shocks you into you know your life. It's like a oh my God, I cannot talk. It kind of shocks you into like, hey, you're wasting your time and you could be using, these abilities that you didn't know that you had. That and it just opens up parts of your brain. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
it
so I'll
really
turn
opens up parts.
something on. Joanne Jackson's throwing out a question for you. She wants to know, how do I know if my dad is around me?
Just when you think of like just all of a sudden I'm sure there's stuff all over your house or all over the place that reminds you of your dad, but like you'll know because you'll just get these sudden urges like he's there, like you want to talk to him, and it makes you really sad. It really does. It makes you really sad, but it just know that he's there. He's just coming to check on you. And anytime that you think about your loved ones that have moved on, they're still in the universe. We're all connected to the universe. So anytime that you think about those loved ones, they're there with you. They will show up right there with you. So, and that's the thing about like I try to tell people like when you're sad, I know it's really hard to not be sad when you think about people that you love so much because you can't physically be with them in this realm. And but when you think about them and you're sitting around at your house and you're sad and you're like really in your feelings about it and you're just upset, they come to I'm busy and they come and they'll come to visit you. Like when they come to visit you, they don't want to sit around watching you be sad and not living your life. That would just break their heart. So you really got to think about like where you're at emotionally when you sit and want to visit with them. You want them not just to be around when you're feeling sad and missing them, but to be around in them happy times. Like, oh, I wish they were here, and make it a happy thing and a positive. So when they're there to visit, it's a positive energy that you keep and share instead of a sad and then watching you be sad. That makes
So,
sense.
Joanne, I'm going to take a leap here, and I usually do not do this on the air. Uh, but are you getting dreams off and on of your loved one that's passed on? Are you getting things moved in your house that it's unexplained? Are you hearing noises? Does this resonate with you at all? Uh, Let me know. Hey, Ron. Ron Parrish is in the house. Uh, I'm also picking up that you are. Is there a fragrance or something that you smell from time to time that's kind of awkward, or something that's similar to what you are accustomed to him or something? Let me know if any of this works or is resonating with you. I don't know why. Uh, Twisted Witch is in a hospital. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, you do have dreams a lot. And yes, okay. The reason why I'm asking that is that when you asked her that question, I start getting up some information.
Right.
And I don't know how
But
this information works, so I'm just going to tell you like it is. So this is a part of where your dad is trying to acknowledge that he is in your presence, and that sometimes you don't want to understand or don't, I don't want to say believe, but it doesn't make sense at the time. But these are small things that people do in the afterlife to let you know, hey, I'm still here, honey. I'm watching you and I'm with you.
yeah,
So
you're
those
just
are little key clues. They do come to you in your dreams, loved ones do. So I just wanted to throw that out. And Sonia, you can add to that, say if I'm right or wrong, or
well,
she's the
the
pro
dream,
here. I'm still a Jedi, so
like the dream realm is like you yourself ask you yourself can like astral project when you dream. Like you can go, and visit through the universe when you dream. The dreams are visits. Those are visits. That is a literal visit. That's not just a feeling that he's around or that. Those are visits. Those dreams that you have, and that's why when you wake up, it's so hard to wake up from those. And for the rest of the day, you're so sad because the dream felt so real because it was. It was a real visit, and dreams are the easiest way for spirits to be able to manifest physically in front of you because a lot of times little signs and little things like that. I mean, you can penny from heaven, see a cardinal, you think about loved ones. There are those, but like when you dream and you physically see them and you physically talk to them, it's different. It's a real visit, and so you have that, and that's what he's doing. He's visiting them, and so yeah. And I know it's hard to wake up, and I know it hurts to wake up, and it hurts the rest of the day because like most of the time those dreams get abruptly, um, abruptly cut off. But it's easier than trying to say goodbye in your dreams. So they get cut off like that on purpose. So you're not trying to, oh, dad. I lost my dad a few years ago, so I understand. I've had a lot of
and
times.
Joanne, there's nothing wrong with talking to him out loud,
Yeah, he can
you
hear you.
know?
He
Yes,
can hear you.
absolutely.
And,
And
and
that
you'll
goes with
find,
any loved one.
oh, you'll get messages. You'll get messages from people when you're thinking about them like that through the radio, through signs, just something you read, through just anything. So, you just got to be aware of your surroundings and don't think that you're crazy because there, there are no coincidences in life. Like it's supposed to happen. It's it's signs. The universe.
Standing
Oh,
Stone, my dad dies when I just turned 13 and didn't realize he was my guardian angel because I had an event where something told me to move on now. When I was in my old truck, then a huge tree fell where I was. Now, with that being said, can family members be your guardian angels?
yeah, and it's not just your guardian angels. It's your these are your guardian. These are your past guardians, your ancestors, your old loved ones. These people, they're trying to guide you on a better path for you to be a better person. Since they're not here, and they're traveling through the universe, and they want you to be able to have a better life. So they're here to guide you and guard you, and yeah. And oh, did you fall? Be careful.
Uh,
No, I
Twisted
didn't.
Witch is in the hospital. She needs some good energy. So let's send all her some good vibes. Hope
That's
everything
awesome.
works out for you.
Thank
Someone told me it was my guardian angel.
Yeah,
Now I have 5 guardian
you're
angels. Now I don't
well,
know the names of them. I know somebody can tell you the names of them, but why do I have 5? I have no idea. Now
well,
I
people.
have certain psychics on our panel board that will call me up, be like, I got this guy that will not leave me alone, and he's trying to get me a message to you or to your loved one, your mother. Can you do something so he can get out of my place? So it's things happen that way. I didn't mean to cut you off, love. Go ahead.
No, I cut you. I was trying to cut you off. People need to remember. You think about your guardian angels. There's a little voice that resonates in your head at some point. It happens to most people. Most people have that voice inside their head. Some people do not. I found that out recently. Been studying that. But that is your guardian. That's you. That is your soul guardian. Like your guardian angel is you. It's your soul. Your soul doesn't want you to die. You know, it wants you to live, and it guards you. It guides you. That little voice inside your head, even before your parents moved on, and even before your best friend died, or any of that, you had that little voice inside your head saying, "Hey, go left, don't go right." And that right there is you. It's you. You are your own guardian angel in a sense. Your soul guides you and guards you. And so with that, like you have to be. You are. I don't know. You always have a guardian angel. Like because you always have. You were always protecting yourself. Your soul protects you. You know, like your soul knows which path you should be going down. Most of the time, but a lot of people ignore those little voices in their head, thinking, "Oh no, it'll be okay." You know, and things happen.
You're right. Lizzie, welcome to the show. Yes. Like I said, some people have more than one. Like I said, I have 5. Do I need all 5? Absolutely, I do. I wouldn't be here today. So, Ron Parrish, not exactly. They can provide guidance. What does that, or how they interrupt those, or oh, interpret those signs is another thing.
Yeah. Well, everybody perception is everything. The way you perceive the world is the way you perceive the world, and nobody can perceive the world like you do. So you have to perceive it the way you're going to perceive it. People are going to take it the way they take
Now,
it.
just because you have a guardian angel doesn't mean you're going to be safe 110% of the time. Accidents will happen. Things will occur. Now, can you call on your guardian angels? Absolutely, you can. You can ask for help. You can. Uh, and any medium psychic can tell you that. Standing stones, we all want to know if it's not too personal. Twisted Witch, why are you in the hospital? Everybody wants to know. We're kind of concerned about you. Are you in there for surgery or something, or is it personal? It's up to you. Twisted Witch, she loves being an empath. It scares me. Sonia kind of pushes me a little bit. I've got another one that gave me a lecture today
Yeah, when you
about a lot of things, but
out. You have to be in or out. Like you tiptoeing around it, it's just going to confuse you and make it harder to know what works for you and what doesn't. I don't know how to explain that any other way. Like it's
no, it does. I mean,
hard.
it does make sense. It's just I'm scared. But there's
And
sometimes,
I
like with certain people, that can ask a question, like Michael Lewis. I don't even know how that one day I was just doing a reading for him live on the show, and I didn't even know what I was doing until I got halfway into it, and I apologized. I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. It just comes. I used to see auras
well
very
that
clearly, and now my auras
yeah.
disappeared, and now they're coming back as flashes. They're like flash, 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 and now they're coming back as slow flashes. So I don't
Nobody
know
play.
if they're coming back slowly and I'm acquiring them, or if it's just me that's turned them off. So,
You uh, Like
Twisted Witch says,
we,
no, just really bad pain from a tumor in her colon. I'm sorry to hear that, hon. Really am. Sounds feeling in his presence. Yeah, absolutely.
we
Denise
just
says, I
live.
heard that your spirit guides or angels are not someone who live here on earth. I don't believe that. Now, there is
Well,
some debate on that. Yes.
I could do with that because I've I've been guided. I don't. My spirit guides are nobody that I know. My spirit guides are nobody that I have met this this time around, except for my dad, which he died a few years ago. Um, he wakes me up. Like he seriously, like one night something attacked our goat, and he woke me up. And I'm telling you, I don't wake up for nobody. My dad could come down from heaven and try to wake me up physically, and I wouldn't wake up. I'd be like, give me a minute, Dad. But in my head, he woke me up and was like, hey, wake up. I need you to go check on my goats. I need you to go check right now. And I got up. I literally got up, put my shoes on, and got my boots on. And I went out and I found my goat, my dad's goat that he raised, bottle fed, hand raised, in the creek. Something had bit a chunk out of her neck, and she had dove into the creek to get away. And I found her like that. Um, and if he hadn't woke me up, I would have never got up to, been able to do that, right? So a few nights later, I had that goat in the house. I had her in the house or whatever, taking care of her because she went and stopped. She made it. She's still alive. She's still out here running around somewhere now. Um, a few nights later, something woke me up again, and it said, "Hey, go check on my goat. Go check on my goat." And I got up. I put my shoes on. I couldn't find my good flashlight, and I had my shotgun because my mom made me take the shotgun. So, and then I couldn't find my flashlight, so she gave me her mag light. So here I am out there trying to find my goat, which I already knew when I went outside, like something was out there. Like something was out here, and I know what it was. It was a black panther. Like I've seen it, but I just knew something was out here, and it was not cool. And I was like, okay, I got to find the goat. And I walked to where the goat's supposed to be, where they usually are, and she's not there, and she's always there. And at that moment, I knew, and I could hear my dad's voice inside my head going, Sonia. He's like, he just pointed exactly. He told me exactly where she was. He said, go down to the creek where you found Shirley. She's right there. And I went down to the creek, and I could hear the cat. I could hear it. And I knew what it was, and I could hear it walking back and forth in front of me. But I had that crappy mag light trying to hold it up and trying to hold my shotgun up. I couldn't hold both of them up. And I could hear my dad's voice. He said, Sonia, you need to go in the house. He said, it's too late for Kelly. Kelly's the name of the goat. He said, it's too late for the goat. Just go back in the house. It's too late. And I was just like, no, no. And I could hear that thing in front of me. He said, Sonia, you can't hold that flashlight up and hold that gun up and be able to protect yourself. He was like, just go in the house. He said, it's too late for Kelly. And exactly the next morning, exactly where I was standing, exactly in the creek is where we found the goat. He was dead. It was too late.
Ron Parrish says, my guardian angel left me when I had a near-death experience. The spirit guide sometimes refer to him as a reaper, but he is just a spirit guide similar to an angel.
Well, what do you
Now,
have to call? Are they different? Or like, do people call them guardian angels and they're spirit guides and they're the same thing? Would you call them different things? I mean,
no,
they're all.
I think there is a distinguishable difference. Depends on who you ask. I think it's
Well,
your personal belief.
that's what I
So,
said.
but now I know that there is a rotation sometimes on guardian angels. You don't have the same ones. So I had to have a long lecture on that to try to grasp my head on that, because when I first learned out, I only had two, and then I had four, then I had five, and I should have wrote their names down because I could tell you, but I always referred to Kelly because Kelly would be like, "Dub, dub, 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 dub," and those are the five she knows.
Well,
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if you have those and you know about them, then it would be nice to learn their name. They would probably appreciate that.
Yes, I do. Crazy Witch, you see flashes and stuff too. That means Sonia, explain that better than I do when it comes to auras and stuff, and how I used to be able to see them, and now they went away, and now they're.
It's not even that. Okay, so people with any kind of like telepathy, any kind of psychic abilities, or whatever you want to call it, a lot of us, when we get together, we can start talking about stuff. That's why I told you, like, sitting around like in a group of people talking about something, you can come up with a lot of stuff that people don't think about. But we start feeding off each other. So you can feed off the energy that I'm putting out, and you can get images in your head of what I'm thinking about. That's how I read people. So people are always, their story is internally dialoguing in their head constantly. Yeah, I'll piss you. Hold on. A horrible babysitter. He's good though. He's still alive. So.
Yeah, so Twisted like, Witch, it is a sign, and that's what Sonia's explaining. Is I used to be able to look at. I didn't have to actually look at you personally. I can look through the computer and be like, "Wow." I would see these colors off you. Now, I didn't know what the colors are. I had to look them up. But the regular people that deal with these, that can explain what colors are. Go ahead, Sonia. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, we all have, like I said, a lot of us have these different abilities, and you've let yourself go by not focusing on yours. You let yours, kind of dwindle off. So you're coming back into it now, and you're getting snippets. You get little pieces of the things that we're thinking about, the people around you are thinking about. Now you got to be really careful, because you'll get snippets of just people's different thoughts. And even though they're thinking about it, doesn't mean that that's a real thing. It can be imagination. Like when you're looking at somebody and they're thinking about something, and they might just be a plan, a scenario in their head that could have happened. And you can see that. So you have to be really careful when you look into somebody and you see these things in their head that they're thinking about, that you think are real, but they're not really real, because those person are just thinking about them. Does that make sense? You got to be really careful
like
about
the movie Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not an exact science. It's just, you have to read between the lines. Some things could happen, things that could possibly happen, and not all the time are the things that happen. Now, people have an internal dialogue, which is what I use, because people can't lie in their internal dialogue. Their internal, it doesn't lie. It just constantly sits there and tells your story. It's every moment that you've lived and are going to live telling a story. And that's where you sit inside of people's heads, and that's where you see them. So that's a little bit different than just, picking up on snippets and thoughts, because until you learn how to see it, you get those snippets. And even when you don't know much about a case or know much about a person and you're trying to figure it out, you get those snippets. You get those what if this and what if that. But once you start to play those snippets in your head, you start to build like a map on which way to go, because you'll know which ones are real. You'll start to learn that. You'll start to feel it. You'll be able to learn what's real and what's not. And that's where, you're in that phase where you're just picking up all these little pieces of, things of the what if instead of, you know what I mean?
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Then we're going to go to Lizzie and answer her question. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Grizzlies on the Hunt. Everybody's got the day off, and we got psychic medium Sonia in the house. This edition is brought to you by Western Bigfoot and Paranormal Investigations, LLC. Thank you, Mr. Don. Greatly appreciate that. So we are talking about different concepts and everything. Spirit guides.
You said Lizzie has
Angels.
Lizzie more of a question.
And we're going to Lizzie right now, my dear. So Lizzie wants to know, and you maybe hit a button. She wants to know what happens to somebody when they commit suicide, their spirit guide.
What happens to the spirit guide, or what happens to them?
Well, I'm trying to find where it's at because you made me hit a button.
Well, I was going to say, when people commit suicide, their soul just goes into the universe again. They just have to restart this test all over again. I think you get
all right, Denise, I heard your spirit guys. Okay, hold up. I'm coming back up to it. I thought I was a proud woman. Joanne Jackson, Twisted. Thank you. Ron Parrish. I know that is real. Tracy, hello, everybody. I'm trying to find my list. Oh, Lizzie. So here we are. So what about people who commit suicide? What do their spirit guides do before that happens?
You know, I'm not sure. For me, personally, I think it takes a whole lot of planning and courage to be able to off yourself. Like, I don't know. I mean, if somebody's made up their mind to do something anyway, no spirit guide and no person is going to stop them. That's the thing about free will. We do have free will. And if you're at a point in such depression that you want to leave this world anyway, a spirit guide isn't going to talk you down. So I doubt they would even try. I mean, I'm sure they would, but what can you say to somebody who steps out?
Joanne Jackson, Twisted Witch, thank you. He used to say that lots in my picture. He's my daughter. My dad died before I had Paige. I hope he knows. He does know. He knows everything. He knows you're talking about him right now. And like I said earlier, talk to him out loud. Ron Parrish, the spirit guide is not your guide to the light. No, that is correct. That is not your spirit guide to guide you to the light. So yes, Twisted Witch, Joanne, he knows he did happen to wear glasses or have favorite pair. I pick up on glasses for some reason. So Twisted Witch is saying something about that. Joanne Jackson, he did wear glasses. Twisted Witch, did you do a reading or do you have a page? Twisted Witch, I thought he has a proud of the woman you become of, and he comes to be by your side and watches over you sometimes, says I love you and my sweet girl. I do have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Joanne Jackson, oh great. So yes. So yeah, find each other on Facebook. Crazy Witch, Joanne, that's great. I'm glad I found it too. We're all here for a reason, absolutely. But there is a thing called free will, and can you explain that a little more about free will?
Well, free will is, I mean, just what it sounds like. It gives you the will to believe what you want and freedom to do such. Because if people believe stuff in their mind, there's nothing more powerful than that. Nothing.
Ron Parrish says he developed a sense after near-death experience. I made it to the light, was sent back. It wasn't my time. Everyone has a time now. There are times where it may not be one's time. That is correct. And that time was altered by another soul. And that is also correct. So,
I mean, some of us, like, some souls are different than other souls. Like, you have a lot of star seeds that are on the planet now, and they chose to be here, and when they leave this vessel, they'll go into another vessel. Maybe not necessarily on this planet, but somewhere in the universe. So those people go in and out, and they are themselves, in a sense, spirit guides. Those who are star seeds, they're spirit guides walking here on Earth that that are here to help people along. And a lot of the psychic mediums are star seeds. You know, some of them don't know it, some of them do, but they are in a sense like walking like guardian angels even or spirit guides or whatever you want to call them that walk here on earth to help people.
But
And
I
some of
do
us chose
believe what Ron says is
that.
true. I think that you, us, we, humans, humanity, each has their own destiny. And
Yeah.
I think we each have our own time on this earth. And we are here to fulfill something. And we know when we are born when it is time for us to go. And yes, a lot of people either choose to come back or actually are told it is not your time and they send you back. So, yes, Ron, you're absolutely right.
No, you just described free will. You have the free will to believe that, and the free will to believe any of that. That's what free will is.
Jimmy from Appalachian Tales of Terror wants to know, where is his dad? So while she's figuring that out, I'm going to answer the next question. So, Joanne Jackson, I always knew I had something. I didn't know what I had. They always called me a human lie detector. I was very good on the PD with interviewing and also in the civilian market with organized crime cases and getting confessions and interrogations. And I didn't find out till recently my mom had abilities. And so last year I went on a spiritual journey and did some things, and it kind of opened the door a little bit more, and it really scared the heck out of me because I can be around certain people and I would just know certain things. Now, Sonia, she can be around somebody and actually know what they're thinking and what's going through their head. Now, that would literally freak the hell out of me out. So I'll let her speak on her experiences and so forth. So I'm still in the realm of learning, and sometimes I can just pick up things and it just comes straight out. Am I right all the time? All the psychics and mediums are not always right all the time.
You gotta listen. We're not always right, and but that's the thing about working with each other. It makes us more. It makes us stronger. So when we all work together, and that's why you pick up so much stuff when you're around all these psychics and stuff. They're helping those energies that you dwindle out start back up.
I think she's getting her cards out. Is that what you're doing, hon?
I did. It's funny because the first card is 13.
All right, this is for Appalachian Tales of Terror with Jimmy Blanton. Welcome.
So Jimmy got 13, the ancestor, and the novice. I kind of feel like your dad is with the ancestors, but the novice means that it's somebody who doesn't know a lot about something. So wherever your dad is, he's new to it, so he doesn't know that he's there, or he doesn't know what's going on around him. So he's still searching for. So like he's searching for ancestors or somebody to help him, guide him through stuff. Words are really hard for me right now. I'm not having a good time with words. I really feel like he's either soul searching, looking for his own ancestors. He just doesn't know where to begin, or that he is with the ancestors and he's searching. So that's the best.
Hopefully that makes sense to you, Nicole. I enjoy learning with you all. It's refreshing to hear some perspectives and reflect how I feel about the afterlife and spiritual beings. It's nice to know that. That's what we're here for. Ron Parrish, it isn't their time. We don't choose the time when happens when one commits suicide. I believe it's complicated, and one form escapes from one life, which is difficult or may not ease the pain the soul is in. So
And the soul and the body and the mind are two different entities, I believe. The soul, when you get so in this like form of depression, your soul will leave your body and you will feel empty. That's why you feel like a shell. That's why you don't feel like a person. And if you can't bring yourself out of that, because no soul wants to sit in a vessel that is miserable. That is not fair. That's not what a soul wants to be, and that's not what a soul wants to be. So when you're in that deep depression like that, your soul will wander off from your body, and if you can't call your soul back, then a lot of the times people commit suicide because they're tired of feeling empty. They're tired of feeling like a
That's
shell.
really weird that you just said that, because he just said too, just keep in mind that it's a carbon-based life form. It's sort of a prison. Once your spirit and soul is released, it's like the cell doors being open. That's
Yeah,
ironic that you both just said that, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
and
why
and
some of us are here and we feel that connection. Absolutely, Samantha, you're right.
and we can
That
live
is
like
the truth.
some of us can. I just some of us live in between those, and I think a lot of us had traumatic experiences that brought us into that, or some of us have just been born into it. Um, my great grandfather was like a seer, and he knew everything, and people loved and respected him, and he was just, you know what I mean, and like, um, some people are just born with gifts like that where they can just see things, you know what I mean, and those are those people. I think they're here to guide you, you know, and you got to. That's why you can't take everything that you hear from people, to heart, and you can't take everything. The things that resonate in you, you'll know it when you hear it. You'll know it when you see it. You'll know it. You just feel it. There's that feeling that is indescribable that you get it when you're on the right path and when things are good or when things are great. Not just saying for the moment, but when things are truly settled. Uh, I don't know. I might be rambling on.
Jimmy Blanton says his dad is alive.
But then he's soul facing.
So, crazy witch. I agree with that. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
What's this again? What's this?
And it goes back to what was his name about near death? Ron. Near death. Didn't you have a near death experience? How old was you when you had that experience? Roughly. Because I know a lot of people that had near death experiences, and they do, come up with abilities.
Well, I say that like my grandfather was a seer. My dad was a seer. My mother was a seer. She, she, she knows this. Um, but when I was 4, my sister tried to drown me in the bathtub, and that's the moment that I remember tuning into that little voice inside my head, and it was because it was always in my head. Like I always talk to myself, people talk inside their heads, right? But this is different. She wasn't talking with me. She was talking at me. Like I was talking at myself. Like Sonia, get up, fight. If you don't fight, your sister's gonna drown you. And that's what resonated in me. There was somebody else in there, and it was like that's what it. For years that's what I felt, but it was just me. It took me a few years to realize that all of it was just me, and I've been guiding myself.
Ron Parrish, my mind, spirit, and soul. Your spirit and soul will leave the mind because the mind is just part of the vessel. This knowledge is in the light. You need to cross over to be enlightened. And he had his near death experience about 7 years of age. That's interesting because a lot of people that I know that had their near death experiences has been under the age of 10. So that's very interesting. So I don't know if that correlates with stuff. Now, I know other people that have NDEs, near death experiences, later on in life, and they get the abilities, but it seems like the younger they are, the more tuned they are. I don't know if it's because of years that's passed, but I've always kind of tried to study up on that with people and trying to determine, the age and so forth.
Kids don't kids perceive the world differently. Like when you're a kid, I mean, you perceive the world differently. A lot of us, like, I don't know, we're not in tune yet. And with
Yeah.
the way society is and the way we raise our kids and the way people raise, we're all so disconnected from each other that we don't know what to feel or how to feel. And we definitely don't know how to feel about each other. That's why we can't get along with each other. Because it really does take a village to raise a baby. Because if a baby lives with everybody in the village, your child lives with everybody in the village, your child would never know that people live differently because that's just the way people lived, and you would know that, growing up. The people live so differently that it disconnects us from each other. Um, we don't live in tribes anymore like we're supposed to. So not having that extra energy around you in the form of a tribe, quit. No, go, go. You're not getting any more of that. Go. Go play. He's mad. He wants some Mountain Dew, and I'm not giving no more Mountain Dew. He already had a drink. That's enough.
Now, Ron, when you were growing up, did you notice anything different compared to you and other children or other people your age growing up? Was like any distinctive differences on things that probably were just different in your head? He says, I knew some things were different. I developed a sense of spirits that are still with us. And it's interesting. The reason why I ask that is because everybody's different. And a lot of people say after their near-death experiences being young, they didn't know what was going on in their lifetime. They just felt like an outsider. They said they weren't like other children or other kids their age. I was just curious for my knowledge. So I'm very fascinated with stuff like that. So interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting, the way people develop things, or the way, and it's not the way they develop, like, or that it's just being tuned into it. And I think, a lot of times when you have a near death experience, especially when you get shocked back to life, that resonates in you. Vibrations, all kinds of vibrations do things to the brain, and the body. So, there's a lot of vibrational therapy out there that is really, really something, that just works wonders. It's mind blowing what they can do with just vibrations and sounds and stuff. Um, I have a friend, he does these classes, right, and he uses the bowls, and he uses these other things, I forget what they're called, but he makes these vibrational noises, right, and he can make you just lay there and you go into like this state of meditation, and he messes with these sounds, and he can make you laugh. He can make you start crying, and he can make you laugh with these sounds, just with these sounds, and you cannot help it. You cannot help but to start laughing and start crying, and it's wild. It's wild. So things like that, those vibrational things, he's getting. Um, you know, they do stuff to the human body. They wake us up. You know, they can also shut us down in some ways, but I think they mostly wake us up.
Well, I know there's a country, I don't remember right off the top of my head. Somebody's got to fact check it, but they use vibrations to cure cancer.
Yeah,
So,
India
or
has.
to treat cancer. I'll say to treat cancer, not cure, just to make sure I'm.
I
So,
think it has a
Crazy
place like.
Witch, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Crazy Witch, I had a dream last night. A woman who was saying a word that I don't know. It wasn't a person. It was more like something unexplainable. It kind of reminded me of a Roman goddess and a Statue of Liberty type look.
Did she have a bow and arrow? That's a really good question. Sounds like Artemis.
While he's answering that, hello, Pamela Hockett. Welcome to the show. Ron, yes, because the spirit and other kids stayed away or feared the spirit is because he was the spirit of death. So now we have Kelly Joe that can actually see the angel of death. And she talks about that a lot. So it's very interesting. Crazy Witch says no bow and arrow.
Just curious. Get back over there, please.
Nicole, wow, that sounds like an interesting dream. It does. It's crazy. Samantha is saying Artemius. How you say that word? Can you say it?
Artemis.
Artemis. There we go.
Yeah. She's the
I don't
daughter.
know. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of Artemis up here.
It's just, I don't, that's what resonated in me. It's
'Cause
my
I don't even know
actress.
what that image looks like.
She had a bow and arrow. That's exactly right. It's that time of year.
Oh yeah, yeah. It does have a bow and arrow. He
Yeah.
said I didn't sleep very good last night after that either. So
I thought I'll hit you up, Crazy Witch. We can talk about that. I'm pretty good at interpreting. I can't even talk right. I might be able to type right though. I'm telling you, words have not been my thing for the last 2 weeks. I've been stuttering and not making words and proper sentences. I can't. It's been awful. I get tongue tied. Um. Yeah, buddy. Sorry, I can't. And watching him too, and him screaming all the time like he does, because I can hear him inside my head and outside of my head. It's very hard to do anything when I'm watching him, because you have to watch him 24/7 anyway, like hands on, because he will eat everything. He loves paper. Paper is his favorite thing to eat. So
Ron Parrish, I was scared of the senses I was getting. Took years to learn and understand. Over the past decade, I've come to terms with it. I still don't exactly like when the spirit walks up on me, and they know they are not on appreciation. They are in my mind. I've only seen one, not appreciation, apparition. I said, that doesn't make any sense. I've only seen one apparition just a few years ago. Very interesting. So when you say the spirit, does it just walk up on you? Are you talking about the angel of death? Are you talking your spirit guide, or which spirit are you talking about?
well, if he's seeing spirits, he could be seeing different spirits. Depending, it could be different ones. Just you know, sometimes if they know that you can see them, they will present themselves to you. Some spirits want to be seen. Some are ghosts, some are spirits. I don't know exactly. Don't know exactly where I stand with that, like ghosts and spirits being different. Like ghosts being people that don't know they're dead, they don't know how to travel the universe, kind of get stuck. No, 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 no. Oh my god,
Let's see if he was going to answer real quick. Yes, an
no.
earthbound
Yeah.
spirit that has not crossed over. Is this the same one, or is this something different ones, Ron?
Okay. Are you getting restless? No, you toast. It should be their fit.
Pamela says you have to open them up. Some people can just see things. I know some people that can go to cemeteries and tell you who's walking around. Ghost spirits, both the same or in my realm. Wow. Now I do not have that ability. A lot of
What?
people that does. Do you have that ability where you can see spirits and stuff in your realm?
Like, what do you mean?
Can
Like,
you
can
see
I see
ghosts and
spirits?
spirits?
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. And they're different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Spirits feel like I said, spirits are older, and I don't know. It's hard to explain. Hmm. Like there's. I'm getting
Let
frustrated
us
because
know
my
that you're in charge, but ask what they want to tell you or what they're the same way you can help them. He says different ones, never the same spirit. Are they trying to give you messages or?
I think they might just be able, like, if you're around things that want to be seen, or maybe they have messages and they see he can help them, but maybe he's just not in tune with being able to do all that.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully that helps you out. And I
I'm
greatly appreciate her, jumping in and short notice and everything. It is a
Yeah.
deep thought, Ron. It really is. You know, and there goes my music again. But yeah, you know, anytime that you're dealing with something like this, when it comes to afterlife spirits, guardian angels, it is. You're welcome, Joanne Jackson. Hopefully everything works out and you get everything that you wanted. And I'm glad everybody tuned in. And thank you again, Sonia, for jumping on at a short notice and everything. And you have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not a chipmunk? Action. No, I'm out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just going to sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.
Fall!